Hello everyone, my name is Ryan, and in this lesson we'll be learning about divs. So a div is an HTML tag. It's actually a block level element, which means it takes the full width of the page, it has its own margins and so on. And you can think of a div as a very large container where several paragraphs can fit inside of it. So to create a div, we will just switch over to our HTML code and we'll pick some paragraphs that we want to add into our div. So let me go and pick these last two paragraphs and highlight them, and then I'm just going to use Emmet's wrap with abbreviation feature to wrap them with a div. So I'll just use the word div, and now we've wrapped them successfully. Just want to fix up the indenting a little bit here so you can visualize everything a bit better. So there's my opening div, there's my closing div, and within those two there are two paragraphs. Now a div by itself is not going to make any difference whatsoever to the look of the page. It will only start making a difference once we add a ID or a class to that div. So let me add an ID of midsection. And then I'll switch back to the CSS, and then I'll create a rule for midsection. And I'll just set the background to cyan. So notice how the background color now changed for those two paragraphs. Okay, another idea would be to put a border just around the heading, the first paragraph, and the block quote. So we'll make another division for that. Let's highlight all of that, and then we'll wrap it with a div. This time I'm going to give it an ID of header. Okay, and I've already defined a style sheet for header, which has got a background color of yellow. So now if we go and have a look at the code for this, you'll see that the first whole block changes to be a yellow background color. Okay, so we've now created two divisions on the page. Another thing we can do with divisions is we can use them to center the layout on a page. So we do this by setting the margin to a value of auto, so that automatically calculates the margin. So let's give this a try. So what we have to do is we need to wrap the entire section of content within the body tags inside a div. So I'll create a div with an ID of wrapper. Okay, so you can see there's the opening div tag for the wrapper, and there's the closing div tag for the wrapper right at the end. Okay, so let's create the CSS for this. Okay, so we'll just set the width of the wrapper to a value of 800, and then we'll set the margin to auto, and this will automatically calculate the margin based on the new width of the wrapper. Remember that by default the width of a div is 100%. So now I'm reducing the width in order to center the layout on the page. Okay, so if I maximize the browser, you can see the entire layout is centered at 800 pixels, and that is quite an effective way of doing that. So that brings us to the end of our lesson on working with divs.